History 1 unit development. This is going to coincide with the PowerPoint which you have available called RCD Unit 1
Yes.
American History. The first half of what we're going to talk about is going to cover the rigorous curriculum design model. RCD is what we'll call it from now on. RCD is basically the same way you've been teaching before, but it's going to combine overarching themes involving the 5 strands. We'll go through all this stuff later on. We'll be following the PowerPoint. You have access to a folder called American History 1, working on since the spring last school year. I'm going to basically go through the PowerPoint. I'll be skipping a couple of slides that really you can look at in particular. I'm not going to be reading entirely off the PowerPoint. But if you look at the second frame, second slide, the 4 parts of the RCD model, you have big picture connections, building the foundation, implementing the units, designing the units of study. As we progress, some of you in Johnston County have been teaching civics, U.S. history, possibly the world. You'll notice a couple of things that you've done probably 4 or 5 years ago that are actually being implemented into this model. So as we move on to slide 3, I call it the slides. RCD is defined on slide 3. Rigorous curriculum is an inclusive set of intentionally aligned components, clear learning outcomes, engaging learning experiences, and the components are going to be organized into sequence units of study. American History 1 has 6 units of study.
Google has decided it's not working quite correctly, so keep just talking. I'm not on the PowerPoint. Just try to talk about it. I'll try to get the PowerPoint up as soon as I can.
The new American History 1, and we want to keep this in mind, not really sure. American History 1, the best way to look at this as far as American History 1 and American History 2 is that for the last, I've been absent for a number of years, but Johnston County, the last time you've had this much time to teach American history, 1492, for that, up till 2004, let's say, was when Johnston County was on 7th period day. And that's been well over 99. It's been a while.
Late 99, early 2000.
Right. So you got one of the biggest positives about the new curriculum. To understand American History 1 and 2, you're going to have a lot more time now. Granted, it'll be more detailed, but it does give you the opportunity not to be as rushed as we were, say, in the last 12 years. The new design is designed conceptually. Thanks, David. When you teach conceptually, basically you have an overarching theme, and you'll have what we define as a conceptual lens and the 5 strands. All right. The questions to consider as you're developing the units. We've got these highlighted in red. Global perspective, basically making that connection as you teach U.S. history to what is going on in the world today. Personal and local connection. There we go. Hopefully that's better. A personal and local connection. How do you make that connection for the students in Johnston County and in North Carolina, and compare that with, say, soldiers' concerns during the before they take off to war in the Civil War? How do you real world practice, and how am I integrating the 5 strands? All right. The lenses you have for such studies for RCD involve a geographical, historical, political, cultural, and economic. Thank you. And an economic lens. These lenses have been provided to you in all 6 units. So in each of the folders that you've been provided, which have hopefully been sent to you already, each of the 6 folders, has got a unit plan in each one. The lens for each unit plan has been provided. And so what we've done basically is we've kind of worked together in the last 4 or 5 months to basically kind of give you this overarching theme for each of the lenses. We back up.
Just trying to get. I think we have.
Okay, good. All right. If you can, we have Mr. John Wood is moderating. If you have any issues as far as what you're able to see or not see, please let us know by asking a question. If that's, yeah, just anything. Let us know you guys are getting in. So, all right. This conceptual lens, covering geography, culture, economics, civics, and government history. We've got features below that. We have bullets in the PowerPoint that are that cover every last one of these. So, one more, right there, right there. So, what you're seeing right now, as far as the 5 strands of social studies, you see all the different topics you have. Okay. These basically is what we have to assume that the state is going to use for the MSL. So if you're using these 5 strands, all right, and all the topics below it, you should be covering everything you have. This is also a reminder. Remember that no one is telling you to teach different. You're still going to teach chronologically, teach the way you've always been teaching. Just to understand that in order to be more successful for the MSL, these lenses and these overarching themes are going to be where they're going to be designing the test questions from. So kind of keep that in mind, and as we go along, we'll notice if the questions change from year to year.
Sound is coming through.
Okay, is everybody good? Okay.
Check your monitors. Make sure that the mute is off. Make sure that because sound is going out over the broadcast.
Okay, we are getting sound. We have some of them that are not able to receive sound.
Well, this will be recorded.
Okay, all right. I wonder if I should announce there's a tornado warning going on somewhere right now. So that's what it feels like. The National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning.
Yeah, let's keep moving.
Okay, you can scroll down beyond that to the concepts and topics. Just keep going. Right there, right there. Is that what they're seeing right here? Okay, guys, this screen, the Chrome has messed it all up. But anyway, some of you guys have been doing this for a long time. For civics, world, and U.S. history, may recognize what's on the screen in front of you. Hopefully, you'll have it. The principles and generalizations. You have these concepts, a topic, and then we had facts. I remember doing this at West years ago. These basically have been reincorporated into the RCD model. And so kind of keep that in mind. But like I said, we have, the 5 of us have basically gone through and laid all this out into your unit plans. So don't feel like it has to change what you've been doing for the years in past. Like I said, these are merely suggestions, and we are in no way telling you to change what you do. You're obviously fairly successful at doing it. So.
The one thing I'd like to tell you, that everything you've done in the past, everything you have in your folders, everything you have on your Google Drive, everything you have on your Jump Drives, you can still use. We're not telling you to scrap everything. So make sure you have everything you bring to the table, because this is just a suggestion as to how you funnel your information down from concept, conceptual lens, topic, fact, etc. We're just keep bringing everything you have to the table. We're not telling you to change anything.
We're still trying to work through some stuff. We have some schools that are not able to get the PowerPoint. Apparently, we do have sound for everybody. So, if you have any issues as far as not getting the PowerPoint, if you could send those questions to us or comments to us, and that way we can make sure you get it. It may not be in the next couple minutes, but we'll make sure that you get it. This is they're still trying to get this off the ground, so it's a work in progress. If you can get to the unit title. Okay. Those of you that have got American History 1, you've obviously been doing this for a while, pilot or anything else. You know that the units have changed. So basically what we did was we gave topics and lenses to each of the units. We basically had a suggested amount of time it would take to teach this. Remember, idea is that a lot of your schools have, pep rallies. Obviously, schedules can change from day to day. It's merely suggestive. Most of the assigned time we have for each unit, the 6 units total, is 12 days of instruction, 1 day of review, and 1 day of assessment. We have provided a pre-assessment and a post-assessment in the Google Docs for you. But remember, like I said, these are just merely suggestions. If you want to look at it, you can. They have keys provided, 30 questions total. Each one has 30 questions total, pre and post. But like I said, you don't have to use it unless you just really want to. If you have any questions about this or anything you're lacking for material, you need to see your department chair, or you can email me, Mike Thomas at Johnson, or anyone else here. Our names will be provided. I want to go through each one of the units fairly quickly and give you an idea of the conceptual lens, these overarching things we're trying to create for each unit. Unit 1 is defined as exploration and colonization, which runs from 1492 to 1763, to finish the French and Indian War. Our is movement. So basically, when they're going to design these questions for the MSL, movement and the economics of this time period will be considered for the questions. And again, 12 days instruction, 1 day review, 1 day assessment. The standard course of study that you have is provided by DPI. It's in the Google Docs. It's just a matter of just typing it up. You guys have had that for a while. Unit 2 will run Revolution through the Federalist period, 1763 through 1815, the end of War of 1812. Hold on 1 second.
I just want to say, don't try to hurriedly copy this stuff down. It's in the American History 1 syllabus that's in the documents that we'll show you how to get to later. We have the exact breakdown, the exact dates, and all of the stuff that Mike's telling you now, that's already in the syllabus. So don't try to kill yourself writing this stuff down.
And also understand that I want to make sure we can get through this because this is a painful experience, and just want to make sure that we're not, we don't want to waste your time because you guys have this stuff, and I'm not gonna waste your time with going through every little minute detail.
And still can ask questions.
So yeah, please feel free to ask questions. Like I said, that will really help us out if you have any concerns. But better to address them now than to address them later. Again, Revolution of the Federalist period, 1763 to 1815. The two focused lenses we have that are leadership and power. And again, this will be where they're going to be focusing more of the questions from. So the leadership time frame, obviously change of leadership and how power will affect the beginning of the new nation. Unit 3 will run Era of Good Feelings through the Jacksonian era. Our time frame for that is 1816 to 1840. The lens for that is sectionalism and economics. So you're going to notice a couple of these we've kind of folded over. We've used a couple of topics again, and these are these 5 strands that we talked about earlier. Again, 12 days instruction, 1 day review, 1 day assessment, 14 days total. Remember, these are suggested now. This is not set in stone by any stretch. Unit 4, Second Great Awakening and Reform Movements. This will run basically, this is the old Goal 2 from the end of course exam. This runs from 1820 to 1860, 14 days, 12 days instruction, 1 day review, 1 day assessment. The lenses for this will be identity, basically the nation trying to discover what it is, and the turbulence that comes out of the sectionalist controversies that leads up before the Civil War. Unit 5, which actually is, again, the old Goal 2. Unit 5 runs Manifest Destiny and Expansion Westward. This time frame is going to be much larger. It's running from 1803, from the Louisiana Purchase, up to 1877. So you're basically gone past the West up to the Compromise of 1877 in Reconstruction. 14 days again, same as before. The big 2 themes for this are going to be movement and displacement. So the key, again, that's why I'm going through these lenses, is the idea these are overarching themes. So it's almost like there's actually a cartoon at the very beginning of this PowerPoint. I'm sorry some of y'all can't see it, but basically has a kid getting off the bus with his friend, and he says, "It's amazing. I've done this 3 days in a row, and I remember what I'm doing." So it's a policy of getting off the bus. Again, your overarching your lens for this should be movement and displacement. So movement, Louisiana Purchase, movement with different trees that come out, the Amazonas, In the displacement, obviously, you're going to talk about in the Removal Act, and then obviously the Indian Wars take place after 1865. Be the Civil War Reconstruction from 1850 to 1877, 14 days again, and then for these, our lenses will be turmoil and division. So I want to keep this in mind. 90 total days, what we had left. We left open 6 days for final review and exam. Again, that's going to be up to your PLC to decide how little or how much more you need for that, depending on whatever school you're at. I did want to remind you again, this is, I think, for me, for us, very important, is that to understand that you're going to have much more time to do this. It has to go back. I wasn't here when it happened, but when Johnston County switched from a 7-period day to 4x4, you ended up getting a lot of material crammed in a very short amount of time. It should not be like that anymore. You should have a lot more leeway and a lot more time to do a lot of those activities in class that you just didn't have time to do before. So hopefully we provided some lesson plans and some projects that will help that out. Anything else beyond that, you're more than welcome to hit the web and see what you can find. There are tons and tons of resources on each of these units that stretch around the block. Hopefully that will be enough for the RCD. The big thing about rigorous curriculum design is to have that overarching theme and to make sure that you're making these real-world connections to today and how what happens in the past does affect what happens today. Do we have any questions? Okay. We're having some issues on our end now. So I want to go through each of the planning organizers. In particular, I'm just going to start with just anyone in particular. Once you open up the unit planning organizer, this will be, if you're going to each folder, it'll be like Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, obviously 4, 5, 6. Once you open it up, you'll want to go to the Unit 1 planning organizer. And once you open that up, it's got the subject, the grade, the course, and it's got the Common Core standards. So if we're going to keep or whatever we're doing with Common Core, we have basically the standards in there. Most of them will have 3 standards. I think 3 was I think that's what we considered. Some counties in the state have chosen different standards. Some have chosen the same ones. The standards basically are these broad, overarching themes of like our lenses, our movement, displacement, things like this. And what we've done is you have this wrapped and unwrapped standards. Don't get too focused on the wrapped and unwrapped. Basically, the idea is that the unwrapped concepts are pretty much what I would define as these very broad themes. So, for example, how does mercantilism, influence colonial identity, and how does it lead to conflict? It's a very broad question. Those will be your unwrapped concepts. It's basically what students would need to know if they were being tested on that particular unit. We've included Bloom's taxonomy skills, the level of skills on there. Obviously, your different levels of questioning. We've also provided essential questions. Now, these essential questions depends on whatever unit you're in, but we provided a number of questions for you. We provided a number of questions under the essential questions that you could use as essay questions, short answer questions, long answer questions. It could be high stakes questioning, which basically means you're checking for grammar and spelling and punctuation, or very lowbrow. You're basically looking for the correct answer. You're really trying to focus on, or low stakes. You're not trying to focus on being as particular about grammar, spelling, and all that. You're trying to make sure they get that overarching theme, the idea. After that, we provided the standards, and the unit standards are below that. Each of the course goals. Are
you showing up now on yours?
Okay. Are you good? Okay. I apologize. All right. What we've done also is the course goals we provided by percentage of state assessment. So let me go through these real quick. These are actually important mainly for testing, so this won't take but a minute, but I want to go through these. Standard 1 is going to be one standard that's going to appear on all of them. So you apply the 4. You can apply the 4 interconnected dimensions of historical thinking to the United States essential standards in order to understand the creation and development of the United States over time. Standard 1, there are 8 standards, will be tested throughout. We don't have a certain percentage. We're not really sure.
Sorry to interrupt, Mike. Where are you?
I'm keep on going. Whoa, right there. There we go. All right, we're here. Standard 1 at the very top. Standard 2, analyze key political, economic, and social turning points in U.S. history. That's going to be 8 to 12%. Okay.
I can't see questions.
Okay. All right. I'm not on there. Yeah. If you have questions you'd ask,
Text me.
yeah.
Text
If you want to text John Wood, if you have his number, or you can email John Wood at Johnston,
I can check it on the phone.
and we'll check it through the phone. Yeah. So we'll do it as fast as we can. On the PowerPoint, you should have the standards in front of you as far as the percentages. I'm not going to read them all, but there they all are. Each unit has 3 standards, at least 2, 3 more likely, standards that are attached to it for each one of the units, 1 through 6 that we have. American History 2, we're going to be working on that this fall, and that should go much more smoothly than American History 1 has gone so far. But the standards are there, so feel free to check them. The next slide that should be up in front of you are all the units. This is obviously, I think, what I went through earlier. There should be no confusion with that. That's something you should have seen.
It's also on the syllabus.
It's on the syllabus, so you should be ready to roll with that. Is this the syllabus?
This is the other part of the syllabus that you have to have.
Okay, this is the other part of the syllabus that we have. As far as the syllabus is concerned, Johnston County Schools would like American History 1 to have the same template of its syllabus. Not the same syllabus, obviously, but the same template of the syllabus. So they want to see the units 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on your syllabus. They want to see them up there. If you want to, just the simple thing to do, just to copy, cut, and paste, and just throw it on there onto your syllabus. Obviously, you want to include your own classroom rules and all that, everything else you're doing in and out of the classroom as far as technology. But Johnston County Schools like to see that. I think your syllabus will be a lot bigger. But like I said, it's just something they're looking for. We've provided a template that is in the folder for American History 1, 2014. It has everything in there you're going to need. So if there's something that's not showing up that's been sent to your school, please feel free to email us, or Mike Thomas, or John Wood, Alan Williams, and let us know if you're not getting anything. Okay. The best way to get to it is right through Drive, right?
Well, no, it's the website.
If you go to the Johnston County Schools website, I'm going to basically try to show you where this is. If you look on the main, where the online connections page is, you have to log in first. That'll be in the top right-hand corner. That'll be your AD, your Active Directory login, like you normally log into your laptop or PC. Once you log into Johnston County Schools, if you look on the left-hand side, top left, where it says Select a School, there should be a icon right there beside the link that says RCD Units. Once you click on that RCD Units, it then should pull up and it will take you to the frameworks. Obviously, for us, you're going to click High School, and then once you click on High School,
I want to jump in real quick. See the link that says Contact Us here? As we're going through where the documents are, if you see a document that you think needs to be changed, if you want to know why is this done this way, you can click that link and there's a Google form where you can go to RCD Frameworks and contact them that way. Okay, we're just going to take you through and actually show you where the documents are, what we spent the summer doing, and that way you have access to everything we've done so far for the units.
Okay. Once you click on the High School, what you'll then see is obviously all the RCD courses, American History 1, Biology, Math 1, 2, and 3. So with American History 1, once you click on that, it should take you directly to all the stuff that we've been doing over the spring and summer. The introduction will be in there if you click on that. And then what we have is all our stuff will pop up. All the units are on there. The presentations are on there. American History 1 syllabus, and obviously, of course, the American History 1 standard course of study. Yeah, we're going to use, let's just do unit 1. Let's just do unit 1.
okay.
Okay, all right. We're going to click on unit 1 real quick. They can see this, right? Just making sure, okay. If you look at each one of the folders you're looking at for unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, they all look exactly the same. There's no confusion. Nothing's going to be labeled differently. It's all there. We have assessments that are provided. It has a pre-assessment and a post-assessment. Most of the time, what I did with these is, like I said, you can use these questions or not. These are mainly honors level questions. So I provided a key with these. Did have some issues with some formatting on this, but like I said, use them, don't use them, is completely up to you. I did provide a key with them. I put the pre and post assessment in one document together. I didn't really think it'd be necessary to download 2 different documents when really it's coming from the same thing. So if you have any questions about that, I was responsible for all the assessments, so email me if you need to. We have documents and handouts that have been provided. Like I said, as we go through each one of these, you can kind of get an idea of what we've done. If you have any issues with this, please feel free to let us know, especially the content area. We're more responsible for the content area than we are anything else. As far as what's going on with technology or anything else, this is not us.
And the big thing about these units, the big thing we wanted to have done in here were the RCD unit plans. What a lot of us did was, like I said, we all had different units. We dumped what we had for that particular unit in that folder. So what we have in there is not what you have to use. You can look at it, delete it, do whatever you want to do, but it's just there's a suggestion. The big thing I'd like for you, or we'd like for you to look at as planning your units, is that RCD unit plan. Make sure you're following the unit plan, the conceptual lens, pre and post assessment, that kind of stuff. How you get to that point, like Mike has said all day long, is it's up to you. These are suggestions. We're not trying to tell you to reinvent the wheel. Okay, we just want to make sure that we're looking at American History 1, American History 2 through that conceptual lens, and using the essential questions, the big units, the plans, and make sure we're starting with the end in mind. That's the only thing I want you guys to focus on.
I do want to remind you also that we're the messengers. Okay, we are not the authors. We're the messengers.
We are like you.
We are just right over with you. Okay. The assessments are there. We've gone through the documents, the handouts. We also have projects, presentations. These are primarily PowerPoints. You can obviously see, if you guys have done this long enough, you know that we have gotten a lot of things from a lot of the places, mainly Ms. Power's site, American History, the Advanced Placement PowerPoint set. You'll recognize a lot of these. Right. PowerPoint Palooza. So, like I said, they're all there if you need to. And then each one should have a unit plan. Let's see. The terms will be on there. This is a unit plan. So this is what John was just saying about this, the unit plan. If you click on that, that's what I was going through earlier as far as this unit planning organizer for RCD.
I haven't seen this actually.
I already went through that. Okay. No, you haven't seen it. All right. For this one in particular, this is unit 1, right?
Yes.
We have standard 3 and standard 7. So we had 2 standards for this one. And if you scroll down, we have the unwrapped priority standards. There's 3 hyphens right there. And then obviously you have this fine detail right here as far as the questions. So we have 1 through 7 as far as these essential questions. We have essential standards, rather. It's unwrapped concepts. I'm sorry, unwrapped concepts. We have 7 there. These will make for very good short answer questions, especially for honors level. Remember, if they're MSL, they are going to ask us a number of short answer questions for the final. So this would be a good place for them to pull it. These are ones that we've come up with our own. We've also kind of dug around some of the other counties in the state. We are well ahead of most of the counties in the state. I'd say there's only, what, 1 or 2 maybe? Yeah, Center. Okay. Right. Yeah, Davidson and Burke are ones in particular. They're a little bit further ahead than we are, but this is what we got so far. The 5 social studies strands are down there. Obviously, you see our concepts and content. These are over these, again, these overarching themes. We have unit assessments, so once you get to this, you're going to see a lot of this is going to be in italics. It says see the unit folder. So anything you're looking at as far as for lesson plans, projects, terms, assessments, all that, they are going to be in the other folders, which you guys have just seen. Once you get down further, as far as scoring guys, in case saying, keep going. Keep going. All right. Right there with intervention strategies. Listen, once you get to this, when you're dealing with IEPs and things like that nature, when you're dealing with kids that have extenuating circumstances as far as meeting their needs for 504 or whatever, you're going to need to see the correct person at your school and interact with them as far as how the assessments should change, the pre and post should change, as far as maybe you have a multiple choice question, A, B, C, D, give her one of the options, and A, B, C then. We have all that, especially for ESL, physical and technology based. Like I said, most of this is going to be exactly the same on all the documents. We don't mess around with this too much because this is dealing with other people's professions. Yeah, they're the PLCs, they're professions. So all that's in there. Each one of the units has a unit planning organizer, so it's pretty self-explanatory. All the units have all the materials in there. This is stuff that we've all dumped in here ourselves. And again, feel free to add, take away. These are merely suggestions.
And this is like Michael said, this is a work in progress. So we'll be adding stuff, changing stuff going forward. But I think today was just to kind of get you understood what American History 1 and 2 is. I mean, American History 1 is basically the first half of U.S. history. So those of you who've been teaching, this is the same thing. Nothing's changed. The thing that's changing is just that conceptual lens part, that they want you to focus more conceptually than thematically that we've done in the past. You can still teach it linearly. You know, obviously the Mayflower comes before World War II. That's not going to change. But the same thing, you just do it in that different conceptual lens, focusing with the end in mind. Because, you know, we need to make sure that we just look at that lens, because that's what the county's looking for. Then when our test scores come in, they're looking for that. So we want you, and I'll make sure I'll have that email out. You know, the PowerPoint. Make sure you guys have this. If you're someone in your PLC listening to this would email me, John Wood at johnston.k12.nc.us. I will email that to you. The presentation that the PowerPoint went through earlier. If you want to look in the documents yourself, that's fine. Like I said, we hate trying to waste your time today. We want to make sure you get some kind of valuable information.
I think we're about ready to come to the end of what we're doing. So we hope you guys have a great school year. If you have any questions, please feel free to email John Wood at Johnston, Mike Thomas at Johnston, and let us know what's going on. If there's any other material that you need to get a hold of, please let us know. We can do that. We hope you guys have a great school year. And we have a question.
These are all questions.
Okay. All right. If you want to go ahead and look through the units, like I said, we'll be here, let's say about 10 minutes. Units. We'll be right here if you want to send us questions. If not, you can go ahead and cut us off. Or you may have already done that.
No, we start late people watching.
Okay.
Late schools are watching.
All right. And if anybody wants to volunteer to do this for American History 2, go right ahead. You're more than welcome to grab this microphone and join the party. All right, so we'll wait about 10 minutes. We're going to wait for questions, and not, you can go ahead and log off.
We do have Google Hangouts up again, so I can't see your questions. But yeah, send them if you have them. Do you have any? Like, you guys did a great job, or you guys find other careers? Just, you know, any comments to let us know you're out there. So it's now when we show the crazy cat videos.
I'll get you back, David Dewey. I'll get you back, brother. That was funny. That was good.
Huh? He can hear you right now.
Oh, is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Dave. It's still funny.
Yeah, and we are still here. We're just hanging.
Is that what he said?
So far, so good. We're as good as we can be. And we apologize for the technical difficulties. I know it's hard when someone's talking about a PowerPoint that you cannot see. So just if you want us to go back over anything, if you want us to send it, please email either me or Mike, and we will make sure that your PLC has that information so that you can actually feel like you understood what was going on. So do not hesitate to email one of us. Clayton can see the problem. Yeah, it's a Facebook chat. That awkward silence. Yep. Rodney should have been here. And the ever illustrious Rodney Honeycutt was involved with this too. So, but he
you're awesome, Rodney.
Yeah, you're awesome, Rodney. Well, 3 people have left. We'll be here for another 5 minutes if you guys need us. Actually,
So I know he's hearing about this for you guys. I'm still talking. You're right about that, Ann Brown. That's for sure.
What was that? Oh yeah. I thought he was buying for a friend.
Said it hadn't already started.
That would explain a lot.
It would explain a lot. That would explain a ton.
Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? Oh, here we go. Does the county want us to use electronic resources, for example, an online text? That's a good question. I know that there are textbook options available online. I know for AP US History, American Pageant, a couple of different versions are online. As far as what the county wants, I mean, just use what your school has. I mean, there's not a push for electronic resources per se, but if you have it, use it, because a lot of kids can pull them up on phones, and it makes it easier for them. But as far, and that question comes from Ryan Loudermilk. I think that's Corinth, I do believe. Does the county want us to use electronic resources? I think if you have them, use them. If you have the ability to use them, because we are trying to push forward 21st century wise. So thanks for the question, Ryan.
Ryan, also, one more thing. I think it would look pretty good. We've already filled our self-assessment, our PDP. I think that for administrators, I think they'll definitely be looking for something, obviously for a web page, of course. But I think it would definitely enhance your own professional, you as a professional to definitely 21st century skills, yeah, exactly, to use that not only in the classroom but for yourself as well. So, good question. Thank you.
Very good. Any other questions? What, Joy? What were you saying?
Can't hear you.
Buster's Joy Bales from Princeton. And Alan Williams is here from West, even though he hasn't said anything today.
On Tom's be at the bar at Ruby Tuesday the next hour.
Has a little bit of face-to-face.
Yeah, if you're any more face-to-face comments.
If anybody has any good resources that you would like to send to us, we'll get those available to everybody. Just email them to myself, Alan Williams at Johnston, or Mike Thomas, John Wood, or Joyce Bells.
How many users? 3 viewers still on. We're all by ourselves now. Okay, signing off. Have a great semester.